Millions of Americans participated in the third No Kings protest last weekend, but in downtown Memphis, the demonstration turned kind of violent when Memphis Police stepped in. The No Kings protest started at Robert Church Park downtown, and then protesters hit the streets to march. When they approached the FedEx Forum near Linden and 4th Street, they were confronted by Memphis police officers, and things just went downhill from there. Our cameras caught a woman being tackled and detained. MPD confirmed pepper spray was used. MPD's stance was that the protest organizers did not have a permit to march and that they were breaking the law by blocking traffic. But organizers say they filed the appropriate paperwork and that their right to peacefully protest was violated. All the video circulating online has people split over whether the police force was necessary. Memphis Mayor Paul Young posted this statement. He said, "We respect residents' rights to peacefully assemble, and I hate this incident occurred." The mayor went on to say the officers involved have been placed on administrative leave while the city does an internal investigation. But that caused some backlash from State Senator Brent Taylor, who requested that no disciplinary action be taken against the officers, and he stated that the MPD officers did the right thing. So, Scott, I'll open it up to you here. How do you think that the city leaders responded to this demonstration?
Well, first, I think in today's social media world, so many people, we come to conclusions so quickly. And as you pointed out, we don't know all the answers yet. Did they have the permit for the march? Did they not have the permit for the march? You know, what took place? We see videos, but as we know, everything you see in a video isn't always what it appears to be. I think the mayor took a good stand to say, hey, we are going to look into this and we'll investigate this. And putting the officers on administrative leave, I hate to see that, but you know, they're not suspended, they're still being paid. And, you know, an investigation as to what was the appropriate action is going to take place. And I think anytime you have a situation like this, there should always be a look at it. You know, if there's a shooting, you know, it only helps the police in strengthening their policies and their procedures. And so just because you're looking at something doesn't mean that the police did anything wrong. I think it's just prudent to look at the course of action and was that the appropriate action.
Now, Pastor Norman, State Rep Justin J. Pearson made the point that with or without a permit, it still doesn't justify how the police reacted or responded or stepped into these protesters. You know, what did you kind of take from how their force escalated things?
Well, I'd give a shout out to a good friend Earl Fisher on this one. De-escalation is important. We must learn in our police force how to de-escalate issues rather than taking them to the next level. Blocking traffic and not having a permit does not rise to the level of tackling people and necessarily spraying them. I say the same thing when it comes to traffic stops and young African-American men losing their lives. These things don't always equate to the outcome that we see. Regardless of whether we know all of what happens, the video does give us a snippet, but we're talking about a permit. And we're talking about blocking traffic. This shouldn't rise to a violent confrontation. This is a de-escalation situation. This is a wait it out with time situation. This is a build a barrier and say we're not going to go any further. This is about rerouting traffic. There are so many other things we can do unless we have an urgent, you know, care or an emergency room being blocked by an ambulance. We're really not talking about something that should have escalated to that level. What the mayor says and does, I don't want to second guess him, but I think we have to look at de-escalation.
And Otis, I'll let you have the last point here. We know that police enforcement and the public in Memphis is very tense, just given the history. Yeah. Do you think this kind of moved further away from the public's trust in law enforcement?
It didn't help at all, obviously. And I think Keith and Scott made some really good points here. I was there early on. I was not there for that. But what I saw was 3 of the streets were already blocked. The only street that was not blocked was the Martin Luther King Street coming up beside FedEx Forum. We're only talking about walking around the block here. We're not going from here to East Memphis. And I do think that de-escalation was the thing to do here. On January 10th, 2016, we had protesters after the Philando Castile murder and another one in Louisiana, Alton Sterling, I believe. They walked up on the bridge and shut down traffic on I-40. Right. Michael Rollins, interim police chief, director, walked up there, talked to him off there. Nobody got arrested. Nobody got pepper sprayed. Nobody got tackled. That is de-escalation. This was not de-escalation, and the mayor is right to have an investigation. And frankly, I'm tired of Senator Britt Taylor making comments about everything. He does not run the police department or city hall, and so I think the city officials are doing what needs to be done.
Okay, we have to end that one right there. When we come back, Memphis hotel accommodations are back in the spotlight, and this time LeBron James has entered the chat. We'll get into it.